but that's the part of that, that raw takes that, lifts you up in awareness.
Yeah.
And so you start interfacing with truth more.
Yes.
And so it becomes less preaching and more connecting.
Well, if I could quickly ask you before we get started, on the third day on my juice fast, she brought me this grape juice to work, and I got this energy like I've never had before, and I was literally on my knees going, I couldn't take it. I needed to run around. I was singing. I was just is this what I'm supposed to be feeling all the time? And is all this toxicity of my thinking, my eating, my lifestyle, is that dragging me down to a level where I'm because you talk a lot about in your videos about these levels of just craziness where you actually have to bring yourself down. When you first said that, I'm like, what do you mean bring yourself down? Why would you ever want to bring yourself down? But
you saw why?
Now couldn't even.
If it's not a blood sugar thing, it's an energetic thing.
Yeah.
Because it's just the energy in these fruits are the highest on the planet. But we're the highest, neurological species, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You don't have beautiful porpoises as beautiful as they are. They don't build Empire State Buildings. No. And as a species of the physical variety, the Homo sapien, we're the highest electrical. But we're eting foods that take all that out of us.
Yeah.
It's no. So that's
I really feel it. And so, I guess my question was, is that the levels kind of that we're reaching, that,
But when you start getting into these, and the cleansing goes, the energy is not so much
more
this,
balanced?
it's
okay.
But it's power.
Yeah.
Stimulation versus raw power. Raw power. Yeah. And that's what it is. You're consuming power, you're stopped thinking so much because the mind takes energy to think. Mm-hmm. So you ever get thinking too much and you just get tired?
Every day.
Yeah, and emotionally the same way.
Emotion is the worst for me. That's something I really need to work on.
Me too. Well, I think all of us spiritual people, that's the side. Thinking, easy to stop. I mean, once you practice that a little bit, except for the intellectuals and academics, they have a hard time turning that off.
Yeah.
For us, it's the emotions. And the emotions, it's I get you, because we're compassionate, loving people.
Want the best.
Exactly. And so, the ripping is interesting. But, it's how you get strong. It's how you power up.
And what really surprised me with eating raw was how it regulates itself. And not only that, I was doing okay eating vegetables and stuff like that, but then when we watched your stuff and really kicked it into high gear fruit, the vegetables started fibering me out.
I say that all the time.
No, it's
vegetables. We're not herbivores.
No, I love them, and you know what? But I'm slowly starting to not.
Well, my salads have no lettuce in them.
Really?
No lettuce or anything like that.
Wow.
It has cucumbers, tomatoes,
I can handle cucumbers.
things like that.
Yeah.
That's as low as I can go.
Seriously, I'm starting to get there.
Because even after a meal like that, I'm like, I want fruit.
I just want fruit anyway.
The problem is getting good fruit.
Yes.
Getting ripe fruit, pineapple, everything off the plant or off the tree.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And nirvanic.
Yeah. And we're permaculturalists, so we actually try our hardest to get into the soil, make sure that it can't just be trees grow in a forest, not in an orchard, and we're getting all our food off these monoculture orchards, and it's destroying the quality of our food.
Well, even here when the citruses are in the sand, when I was into the navels as a fasting thing, as a living thing, and that's all I ate as a mono diet. The grove that I was using was an organic grove. The guy was about an 80-year-old Baptist man, and he had mulch and that so much.
That's how we grow.
Sweet as honey. And people say acid. I'm going, acid? There's no acid.
That's one thing I noticed with citrus right now with me. I do better with
Yeah.
Like
too
I think
acidic.
I think I have digest. Well, I know I do by looking at my eyes. We're working on taking eye pictures and understanding that more, and
that's cool.
I can see it right in my that I have
Sure.
the problems. And
Well, acids, orange, these things that are listed as acid, but we have to go to the farmers again.
yeah,
Farmers are failing to grow superior food.
Yeah.
All it is, because we were farmers. So it is about yield. And so
I know. Yeah,
well,
it's not about you.
going way back, in my dad's time and stuff, they pushed these Monsanto companies like that was pushing yield. And of course, farmers were taking money. They were taking quality of food. Now we're all going, quality of food.
And we know exactly why that's a problem is because yield is only one aspect of the energy being put into it. It's how much water to go into that, how much fertilizer did you put in that, how much of your human energy went into that. And when you look at the equation, it's not balanced, and you're putting in way too much energy to get out.
Okay, so here's a good example of this. Okay, so we took about 200 acres and grew Christmas trees.
Right.
Now, Christmas trees, you talk about a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work. You got to mow them one year, prune them the next. Morals, horrible stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So, for the little fellas, right? But, so when we got done with that, it was probably 8 to 10 years totally from, we sell them about 5-6 years, and they're pretty nice size, 5-6 footers, about that. So then, when the fields were pretty drained, Dad said, well, you know what, we're just going to plow all these stumps under, and then we're going to heavily fertilize it, and then we're going to plant corn. And I'm going, and I was a young kid, I'm going,
But something
why would you fertilize it? Why would you fertilize? The trees have already fertilized. Come on!
Great job.
They get back, right? So, and then there's a question, do they really take the minerals out of the soil or just the electrical properties out of that? I mean, there's a higher level of thinking on the electricity side, the electromagnetic side of life, as opposed to we just see chemistry here. Is it really robbing, or is it taking the electromagnetic energy in some forms? I mean, so anyway, so he listened to me. I don't know. He
you were surprised.
He said, I've never seen a yield like this since I was a kid. And I'm going, that's right, because what you're seeing is the decay of yield, the stimulation, and then the effective stimulation on the soils. And then what you did is have major yields, and now your yields are going down.
Yeah.
You have to pump.
You have to keep throwing that crap on there.
Exactly.
When nature does it already, and that's how we do our style of gardening and food foresting is just mimicking nature. It was doing fine without us, so
exactly.
We can just keep going.
Here comes mango. We're going to make it. It's like, really? And man still hasn't good luck with that. Man still hasn't learned that. And the same with diet and stuff. You said something about what's interesting about balance. The type of food you eat are balanced to the species. It brings balance and health to the species, you know, and whatever form that food that is related. So for us, if we don't get fruit and veg, once you've had that and you've been used to that level, it's hard to go back. And like you said, salads become too much. I mean, I thought it was me just getting older, because 1 year I'll be 70.
Wow, you're looking great.
Yeah, thanks. But it's like 1 year I'll be 70, and it's like, maybe it's just me.
No, you're onto something. And the reason why we know this is right, because we're not scientists. We're just
You don't have to be a scientist.
I personally left school, to pursue a life that was different because I wasn't agreeing with everything I was seeing. And so the reason I know it's true is because it's the exact same way we do our gardening. I don't need to know the exact bacteria in the thing. It helps if I know some stuff, but I don't need to know it. I just need to know the principles of how it works. And same with the health. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything, but I've helped my mom. I've helped my brother. I've helped my friends.
Well, how interesting is it that if you learn just basic science, right, the basics,
just
when
basic
you start
stuff.
getting deeper into that, that's when we start to lose.
Yes.
Basic thinking, then deep thinking. It's we are now into the chemistry society out there pushes itself as a great thing. It's like, really? You went too far.
Yeah.
And we got to all pull back to more simplicity.
Yeah.
And then you can understand, the ionization, how all this works. Okay, I understand that. I understand why we get what acidic causes, what acids cause, what alkalis cause, and all this. That's basic stuff, and I think it should be taught in high school.
Oh, yeah.
You know what acid is.
Yeah.
What's an acid? Here's a Coke.
Yeah.
What's an alcohol?
I mean, it's taught, but not like...
It's not taught like
not taught really.
Practically.
Not practically.
No, if you ask me as a senior in high school, what's an acid? Well, what's an acid?
Hydrochloric acid.
I took chemistry, but the way it was taught. I took chemistry in high school and I made straight A's, and it's still, if you ask me what it happened, I go, well, there's not enough demonstrations and things like that.
Yeah, and one thing that really helped me is what you said is just kind of stepping back and saying, hey, because
Do it.
yeah, and it's something we learned in permaculture too is
Yep.
you don't have to garden. Just put the ingredients there. It does it itself. And the more you interact, the worse the more you put your human idea onto how the garden should be, the worse your garden ends up. And now we just throw millions of seeds down and say,
here's the other secret.
Hear about it.
Love your plants.
Yeah.
You know, their consciousness, you know,
They
and
are.
you're
Oh
interfacing
my
with that, so
gosh.
you feed them and love them, and you know they respond back.
Yeah.
And then I like crystals around my tree.
Yeah, cool.
And they seem to respond a
Yeah,
lot.
oh, well,
Nice.
we're out in the mountains a lot, and
I feel
there's something
Oh,
in
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
You
Feel it
start
in different
to,
areas.
you
yeah.
start to shiver, you start to, and so,
Arkansas.
Yeah.
You'll be going through Arkansas, probably going to California.
Yeah, yeah, we will.
But that's a land of crystals and everything
Okay.
else as well. It's got more gemstones there, I think, than almost any state, and then more botanicals.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
there's something special about that part of the world right there in the States. It's like, whoa, all that stuff, huh?
Yeah.
But these are
Yeah.
feeding energies to the planet.
Yeah.
Of course, man's like ripping them.
yeah, and
Like that.
mining them. And,
Yeah, I know. But we have shamans traveling the world planting crystals too
Oh.
in various places to help
Cool.
the energy of the planet. So,
Cool.
there's a lot of
We gotta
higher
be
levels
part of
going
that,
on
too.
that people don't know yet.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're fortunate to the other half of our collective is up in BC, and they have a very Eric's wife is an Apache, so
Oh, cool.
they have a very indigenous influence on us, which is very important.
Very
And one
important.
thing you were talking about the plants and their consciousness, she had a story. Margot had a story, or Eric has a story about her daughter, his daughter going out and learning about the different plants, and.
Oh yeah.
And the woman who was teaching them was naming the plants, and the daughter said at one point she noticed the plant reacting to when she called upon that plant.
Oh, yeah.
With their
and
indigenous
With the
name.
indigenous
Not the
name.
English
Not
name.
the
Right,
science.
Right. But think about this, though.
Name.
In consciousnness, there's no names.
Yeah,
There's no
it's
anything.
just-
There's
yeah.
no male, there's no female. It just is.
Is,
It's just
yeah.
consciousnness. And so when you're interfacing at those
You can
levels,
like you find
oh,
reactions
yeah.
and
Been to some of those levels myself. And it's like you can't explain it until you experience some of
Yeah.
these things, you know. But we're this level of fruit and this level of health will lead those that are doing this into high levels of understanding that are beyond the Homo sapien understanding right now.
Yeah, I think
Science is still
Yeah.
in the dirt.
Yeah.
And pharmaceutical and medical
Oh,
science,
it's
that's
scary.
dying. That's a dying breed because they're killing and hurting too
Yeah.
many people with it. They don't understand truth.
Yeah.
It's like we need this planet to start understanding truth a little bit more.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous when my mom's coming, when I helped her out, and her doctor's asking her, how did you do this? Like, what?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah. And when I'm not a doctor, I'm not, and I just pushed her towards a few
If
things.
you were a medical
like-
doctor and you were just treating and because they half-ass get a little stable when you treat a little bit.
Yeah,
Then
sure.
they start going the other way when you get too many
Yeah.
meds on them. And then you see someone over here, like I had a medical doctor in Canada up there,
Yeah.
cure, we'll use the word there,
Yeah,
cure
yeah,
a
yeah,
lymphoma, not a lymphoma, but when you have that elephant leg, it's
Oh, yeah, what's that called?
well, lymph stagnation,
Yeah,
you get the
sure.
elephant legs and all that's not coming
Yeah.
to me right this second, but lymphedema case, but major lymphedema case.
Yeah.
He cured that, of course, understanding the lymph and everything else, and he's in with 7 other physicians, and they're all going, wow.
Well, yeah.
Right.
You know, so we have medical doctors out there with good hearts,
Oh, yeah.
open to, they're healers.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's because of their practice, and aren't they bounded by law to like...
You're only bound by what you allow yourself to be bound by.
True,
In this
true,
country,
yeah,
the
yeah.
AMA, the associations is what dictates. So when you belong to an association like the Massage Association, they have limits to what you can do.
Yeah,
The AMA,
yeah.
the American Medical Associations,
Yeah.
have limits if you belong to them, and you have to. So half the medical doctors in this town don't even belong to the AMA anymore. Too restrictive, and that's part of the problem.
And they're
You wanna-
allowed to keep practicing?
Yeah, they
Oh.
do. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you would have to belong to the
Oh,
AMA
okay.
to be a medical doctor.
Okay.
I don't know. I know.
Well, there is a-
they don't belong to it anymore, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's
like
just
it.
an attack. Whether
It is
it's
attack. And
online or in person, there's just a...
I get an association should keep things within the bounds of the modality.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you start, if you're a healing, and that's the problem. Medical isn't a healing; it's a treatment-based system.
Yeah,
so it's not a healing modality. Health isn't part of its nomenclature, even though they use the word. It's not part of it because their whole gig is treating diseases. You know, and then you have the surgery, which that to me is the special side of AMA. That's the side that medical should be, is surgeries. Because when you see some of these
emergency stuff.
Oh, I was watching Box last night. What they fixed was neat. And this is something I was interested in. I was watching this botched on TV, and what is two incredible plastic surgeons that can take what other plastic surgeons mess up and fix them. And I mean, they're really, really good. So this one lady had a lot of injections from a retired nurse of not a pharmaceutical grade silicone, but other stuff in the butt. Well, it was so toxic to her that it shut down her kidneys.
What?
So the example of that is, yes, the kidneys eliminate toxins out of the body. Kidneys are eliminative organs, and they haven't tied that to metabolitic waste inside the body. Where here's injected silicone, probably farmer grade, and yet the body's trying to expectorate it. Well, how does it expectorate it? Either skin or kidneys, right there. Well, that's obviously a tie-in to how the body gets rid of its own waste, right? But that connection hasn't been made. The lymphatic connection hasn't been made. No, we made it.
And the kidney one, I used to have, I'm telling you, the darkest circles you've ever seen. I'm getting better. I'm really getting better. The whole thing that started, the whole thing that started me on my journey was I had this lump on the underside coming out of my saliva duct that I thought was cancer. So I immediately, I didn't know anything about cancer. I didn't know anything about health. I didn't know, I was, doing drugs, eating crappy food, everything, right? I just was living life, trying to survive out there, And so I started researching online because my friend had just passed away in the hospital from cancer. So I'm like, I'm gonna die in 3 months. So I started like calling friends and telling them how much I love them. My mom was like, "Is everything okay?" Because I was like pouring my heart out to her, and I thought I was gonna die. So I was just getting ready to go. I was going around visiting all my friends. Anyone said, "Do you want to do this?" I was like, "Yep, I want to do it. Let's go!" Because I thought that was it for me. 3 months goes by, and I'm like, not dead yet. Should I be dead? Like what's going on? And so I don't know what hit me, but I looked up natural cures online. Next thing, this food is medicine thing came up. I don't know if you ever heard of him. And that I listened to that video, and I had the best sleep that night because I was like, oh wait, there's hope. I didn't still believe it yet or think anything.
Right. But there's hope.
Yeah, then it took about 5 years of it slowly coming out. Then one time on the juice fast, this just started to inflame, and I smelled like you know more about it than I do. So.
Dr. Pimple Popper.
And then I went to sleep, and I slept on the couch because I didn't want to put her through that. I was and I had this dream that it was popping out of my saliva gland, or the duct, the saliva duct. And I wake up and it is, and there's pus there, and I'm trying to rip it out, and Lori's like, you know what, we'll just go, I really don't want to go to the doctor.
I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to try to pull it out.
Women do not like that.
And I don't blame them.
Don't deal with that.
That's true. So I'm trying to pull it out, and it's hurting, so I'm like, okay, blah, blah. So I go back to sleep, and I have this dream that pus comes around, and it just pops out. I wake up in the morning, I look in the mirror, there's pus around it, it popped right out. And
isn't that cool?
So all these allergies, rashes on my face, everything is slowly but surely going. And when I go back and visit my family and eat all this crappy food, it comes back.
I'll tell you what you want to do is you want to keep going to that. You can eat that crappy food and you don't feel it. That's what you want to do.
We're getting there almost, but I think there's still a lot.
Well, whenever you see redness,
I have a lot of that
and stuff like that on you, because I used to have it real bad here.
Yeah, this is my
Yeah, it's a common thing. When you see that, when you see that immediately, the lymphatic system's back up in your head, and that's what time. No, stop, because anything down here, okay, up here, no. You do not want to go there. The AMA is not good. I mean, it'll take half of it off your nose off, take your face off. Oh no, I think there's guys walking around without faces, and they snap their faces on. That's because the AMA had to take clear margin, not understanding it. You can't just keep cutting a person's face off. I was watching a show where they literally have to snap an artificial face on itself.
Wow.
It's like, what?
But it
Yeah.
goes back to the earth thing where I see a degraded landscape and we can repair it by doing the right thing, adding the right elements. So that's why I know
And
it's
letting it do
and
it.
letting it do it. So I add the right elements and trust that nature.
Well,
and
you can't do anything else. I mean, the thing
yeah, exactly.
man's narcissism gets me.
Yeah.
We're going to go in and we're going to upset the master chemists who put creation together.
Exactly.
We know better.
Yeah,
Give
we
me
don't
a
know.
friggin' break.
Yeah.
We don't even understand it yet. The
Yeah.
nano, sub-nano, and keep on
Yeah.
going down to, we have no idea.
Yeah.
We don't even know the electrical properties, how that corresponds with the chemical properties.
Yeah.
That it's like these sciences are kind of like this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it's like-
isolated, but it's a holistic thing.
Yeah.
So
everything
yeah.
works together.
Yeah, I'm okay with like people, because a lot of people are really good at finding out information. It's just where does those facts lead us?
Exactly.
You know, because it was interesting. Our first foray into just going on it without jobs and seeing what happens was on a farm, and they were ketogenics.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we had us who were practicing.
Oh.
Like, can you imagine and
Oh, yeah.
they were respectful to
Well,
us,
that's
and we
good.
were respectful to
Well,
them.
that's
But the
good.
conversations,
Yeah, I know.
the conversations were very frustrating because it's like, oh my gosh, like.
Two very different modalities.
And one based supposedly in science, and we're just we're the airy-fairy weirdos, hippies,
yeah.
and I'm like,
But if you sat down and talked with them from a scientist's viewpoint,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not into
yeah.
science. They don't, when you start-
unfortunately, that was
Yeah, I
the first
know.
year I even heard about your videos, so I didn't really have anything but my heart,
I
and you
know.
can't tell people.
I know.
They're not gonna let you argue. My heart says
I
this.
know. You know what? You just have to go, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we're going through is there's so many different points of view out there.
Oh,
like
my
urine
gosh.
therapy, stool therapy, and all this stuff. And we want to keep our sites pure because that has nothing to do with health and crap like that. It's all a concept. I've got this problem. I got to treat it. I got to find something to make me feel better. And it's like, no. These things are short term and they're nasty and there's all kinds of. And you want balance. You want chemistry. You want balanced chemistry. You want electrical chemistry.
Yeah.
You want it as nature. The pH is proper,
Yeah.
and you can't figure those out.
Yeah.
Only nature can figure those out. Of course, soil growing does change things.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the what is that up in Scotland? The finhorn.
Okay.
I mean, and that, if you ever heard of finhorn,
No, I'm
if
not quite aware
look
of
up
what you're talking about.
finhorn. This was a lady, who was a little, psychic lady, and her spiritual guide came to her and said, we want you to go to Finhorn, Scotland, which is kind of on the coast, and it's all sand, and we want you to start planting vegetables. She said, what? We want you to go to Finhorn, which is start planting vegetables, right? So she listened, and she went to Finhorn, and she started gardening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lettuce, carrots, and everybody's going, what?
Yeah.
So everybody started going there because psychic things were happening, all the little gnomes and divas, all these little things around, and you could communicate with things.
Yeah.
And now they put a university there, from what I understand. This is years ago.
Right.
I talked to people that went there. I never went there, but it's like, that's another level. How do
Yeah.
you grow something like that out of sand?
Yeah, well,
So there's another level that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
physical
No.
that people have to get with
Yeah, yeah.
that is more powerful. This is the least power of all the God
Yeah.
world. So there's a lot more there that people have to tune
Yeah.
into, and that's hopefully we're opening some of these.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we're doing a video. These are my friends from Canada. Who are we?
I'm Mike.
Yeah!
Lori.
Look,
Yeah.
you're traveling.
I'm
I'll kind of follow along with you there.
Yeah. So we were gonna introduce you to our network of people who might not have ever heard of you.
Yeah, so Dr. Robert Morse.
Who's gracious enough to have us here.
Oh, no.
amazing.
Thanks so
Your
much.
energy is just
Contagious.
Well,
since the first video we watched,
How are
and now
you?
we're here and
How are
we're
you?
just dreaming about it. And
Yeah.
fun stuff,
Yeah.
And you're going to California.
we are.
It'll be fun stuff. See all kinds of things in the land. You're going to go through Arizona at all?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
stopping.
Try to
through
get
there.
to Sedona.
Okay.
Okay.
I've heard
Then,
of, yeah.
Then you'll really feel it because those are ley lines come there. It's one of the ley line
Okay.
points. And energetically, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, you get a
And
different.
if you're a little bit
No, we've been
going
in-
back, you'll see beings all over the place around
Wow.
Sedona that are not
Okay.
physical. They don't have their physical body.
Yeah,
but
I'm
they're-
into it. I wanna see it.
Yeah. We created a healing center there at one time, and it's like all kinds of things going on if you have the eyes to see.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you can feel.
Yeah. I think I'm only at the feeling stage.
That's
I don't know
okay.
if I went
That's okay.
through the
You
thing.
got
I'm waiting though.
You gotta stop thinking. It's like those pictures with all the dots in there. You can't go looking at the dots and see it. You gotta pull back and look, you know, kind of not focusing. Unfocus. And you'll see more. See, focus, that's your attention. And your attention is you. So where's your attention? If you focus on anything, that's where you are. If you don't focus, whew, that's where you are, everywhere, because who are you? See, and that leads into that. Well, fruits quiet the mind. They make the emotions strong.
They do.
They do quite, don't they? But they can jazz you up.
Oh, you're ready to go.
I had to go back to salads to balance out because I was buzzing so much.
I'm starting to understand that. When you first said that in a video, I was like, I don't know. Like, what is that even? Why would you ever want to be? No. I'm starting to understand. I'm really starting to understand.
It gets super intense. So I do things to kind of try to keep myself halfway down. I can eat Indian food once or anything to hear. Okay. I'm here, right? Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited about your journey.
Yeah, thank you.
What you're doing. Your group is, you got a good group there going?
Yeah, we're the Wild Collective, Wisdom and Living Dreams, and we're focused on bringing things back to nature because things have gotten crazy out there, and we want to mimic how nature works, and we do it with natural building. We do it with using non-toxic building materials for our houses and stuff like that. We do it with permaculture practices. We're trying to raise ourselves and the ones around us to be sustainable superheroes, so we can go out there and preach about all this agriculture, about how to grow things without using all the crazy methods we use now, all the energy waste and all that. But we'd also like to introduce you to our collective and to viewers that might be watching because of us.
I have a dream. One of the things that I'd like to, I've got foundations setting up, but I have a special heart for Native Americans and Hopis, but all of them, but Hopis. And so my dream is to go and build geodesic domes on the and bring this up because if you've ever been to reservation and stuff,
we work on one and it changed my life.
And so it's got me here. So.
Well, you're always welcome to come up, please.
So that's one of my big goals.
You stay with us.
Foundation geodesic dome. You talk about another part of energy efficiency. Buckminster Fuller geodesic domes. I mean, the blows, the better it sits. There's no corners in it, you know, so the energy major. You can make them neat as all get out with lights up to the Godhead. I mean, you can do all kinds of things. Boy, would I love to do that. You know, islanders should all have geodesic domes. Well, you know, concrete square houses. No, hey, you learned that the hard way. You want geodesic domes, that way the wind blows hard, your place just stays hard. I love that stuff, you know, but man, is still, that was things like this was introduced years ago and it's sitting way back on the back burner. So we need people like you to come on out, bring this stuff out.
We're doing it, and
pyramid greenhouses. We've talked about those before on this
show. We want to do cob and earthen buildings and all those kind of things.
Well, to live in northern climates and be more frugivorish, you would have to have like greenhouses.
I'm starting to think it's not worth it. Come down and be like it's. That's why we're here, literally, because we're trying. It's not healthy. It takes so much energy. It takes so much, and I love everyone up there, and I love that. But
humans are not designed.
I think.
I'm sorry. I mean, we adapted and we wear clothes, but you take the clothes off, you're bell naked. You don't have anything to deal with. Like you said, minus 40 the other day. Holy moly!
And talk about
zero.
Talk about acidic hits on our body. It's an acidic hit on our planet to be there, burning fuel, burning energy, just being up there to heat up, and we're not even outside because it's too freaking cold. Like,
and you're talking about releasing toxins into the atmosphere.
It's nasty.
And then you got to burn something. So that's the problem. Well, man's more tropical anyway.
I
think he's clear. Look at how many people move to Florida every day.
Clearly, you can't even be outside in Canada right now without you just can't be there.
We're cold this morning. 40 above, 45.
This to us though. I'm in shorts and DJ. I'm like,
I got a coat in the car. No, man. I got this is like our 40 below, you know, it's like, whoa.
Do you want to introduce Morse to our?
Sure. Okay, so for anyone who hasn't heard of Dr. Robert Morse, he has an extensive endless supply of videos on
It
YouTube.
seems like it.
It seems like it.
They
I
even
think,
took some away from me. You know, they shut me down several times on YouTube. I had to get an attorney to get them back up, but
That's crazy.
several hundred have been lost. You know, and some of the earlier ones were fun.
wow.
Yeah, they're scared
Oh
of
my
it.
gosh.
That
Yeah.
means we're doing
Yeah,
something
sure.
right. If they're
Well,
scared
I'm
of it.
also a little bit of a World Bank, a little bit of trilateral understanding what's going on
Good.
there, and
Good.
that's
They're afraid of people like us.
this country's steeped in it so bad
Yeah,
that the
yeah.
fight is between that. A lot of people don't realize that the socialistic view here in this country coming from the World
Yeah,
Bank.
yeah.
Britain's going through that too. They voted to get out of the EU,
Yeah.
but they don't understand the EU is part of the World Bank and their
Yeah.
agenda. And their agenda is to make all of us wear and talk and act the same. You know, that those.
Yeah,
and
I know.
that's the freedom coming out of this.
Yeah.
And we need to instill the freedom that we were. Well, you come here to play and have
Yeah.
fun, not to look the same, like this, walk the same, talk the same. Here, give me. No, this is your journey to have fun, explore, grow, just like you guys are doing right now.
Yeah. And
And
some people will try to tear you down if you're being
Negative
different.
force.
I was gonna ask you
Well,
about
you a
that.
channel
How do you
for.
deal with that? Like, cause I get sucked in.
Because I had the face. Listen,
You'll see me on your
I-
like the anti videos of you online. I'm like, blah, 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 what are you
I don't know, but when you see those things, and the trolls, remember, trolls are hired by pharmaceutical companies and other people to go about it.
I gotta stop it.
But you know what?
I try and show them love too and say, listen, if
listen.
you're ever like
Yeah.
unhealthy, come to us and we're gonna heal you, even though you say nasty things.
You know,
about it.
exactly. You know, it's just the negative forces just gotta chew on that. And it's like we're powering up. So as we power up, it's going to be a lot harder because we're
It
going to
is,
be
yeah.
a lot more powerful. You'll see this year in our group, the power's coming, baby.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so this is exciting. We're
Yeah.
not going to take it anymore, and we will be turning those negative forces around a little bit. And we got the power behind us. Look at all you guys, and then we have tens of thousands now, and I came
Yeah.
here with thousands. So you'll see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's not just this planet either, believe it or not. There's a lot going on in the hundreds of thousands of galaxies.
I bet. Oh my gosh, I could only imagine.
Oh yeah. I mean, come on, man. We got this focused little planet Earth thing. Take that apart. See who you guys really are.
Okay, yeah, I want to get into that.
Oh,
We do have a few questions, nothing crazy.
Sure, no,
but-
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to bring us into this like physical plane here. You are a biochemist. Like you have lots of experience with iridology, naturopathic medicine, herbalism. You've started
Love
this
all that.
clinic.
Isn't that fun
It's
stuff?
such
It's
fun.
so
yeah.
interesting.
The more you-
You've definitely inspired that in me.
Yeah.
And lots of iridology products.
Isn't that
projects
neat?
and
The
yeah.
eyes.
Her eyes are turning.
are.
They're
Turning blue.
They're turning blue. Like when I met her, they were browner. And then
What?
So
she had this dream where her eyes were turning blue, and she'd always be like, "Look, Mikey, my eyes turning blue." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever."
You guys are having dreams, right?
No, that's how I do
More
it.
like your spiritual guides are talking to you.
Probably,
You know
yeah.
what I
No,
mean?
it must be
Oh,
because.
yeah. I mean, these are not just dreams.
Yeah,
you guys are
yeah,
having.
yeah,
You didn't have just it. You knew what. Yeah, and you. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it must.
That when you turn your brown eyes blue like
It's
that,
happening.
When
You
you
can
have blue
slowly
eyes,
see
all
it.
brown eyes aren't blue.
No, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
When you have blue eyes and they're brown, you're in trouble. That's chronic lymph stagnation, chronic acidosis.
And I was feeling the chronic,
Were you?
a lot of different things in my body, and I could kind of see where I was heading if I didn't change something. And I have a background in environmental studies, and so I was starting to see like, wow, everything really is connected, including my health. So anything that I put in my body or put on my skin or breathe in or even think is impacting that, my life experience. And anything that I wanted to heal had to happen from here, not just, going to the doctor or...
Getting some magic pill. or
Exactly.
something.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's been a journey, and,
That-
really
if
thank
when
you
you were
for
a
the
child,
work
did
you
you
do.
have a lot of energy and now it's changing, or no?
I think that goes for a lot of people,
Did you-
they start off with like endless energy and then
Yeah,
they
we
just...
see kids. And
Well,
They're
because
just
you remind me of
bogged
someone that had a
down.
little hyperthyroidism at one time, and moving maybe away from that.
I definitely had a lot of blood sugar issues that I've healed through eating a lot of fruit, which
Yeah, that's our sweetheart adrenals. Why your eyes were brown? You know, it goes right
Yeah.
back to your kidney adrenal matrix
Yeah.
right there. So yeah, you would be. And again, when you start cleaning that up and you get away from the protein stimulus, like you were telling me, the nuts and your pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start crashing a little bit because you're not on stimulants anymore. And proteins act as stimulants.
And they're so addictive.
Yeah, so
Oh my
thank
gosh.
you. I know they are, and it's like they're stimulants and they're acidic for them. It's like you.
Yeah.
How about the pain you had in your back?
Yeah, well, I was working at a ski hill, and everyone's getting like cortisol shots in their back and stuff, and I'm not ever doing that. So when I was helping people, because you load them up on the chair and lift them up, and my back was, I'm like, am I not throwing these chairs right? Am I just not doing it right? Because I'm a pretty active guy, so for me to get pain in my back is a little weird, and I was eating this big chunk of nuts I would eat fruit all morning, but lunchtime I wanted my nuts. I needed something filling. I need real food, you know? And I would get these pains, so I was watching one of your videos, listening to it while I was working, and it was like, you literally said protein is pain. You talked about some doctor where he didn't believe you, and then you gave him tofu or something after, and he was like,
that was a good one. That was a medical doctor.
Yeah, so thankfully you said that because it clicked in with me, and I'm like, well, I'm eating a whole, I know it's not meat protein, but it is protein, so what does this actually do? I'll give it a try. I stopped, and that day,
no pain.
No pain, none, and I was just, I brought extra fruit, and I was just flying on saluting people. But no,
the proof is in the pudding.
Proof is in the pudding.
It is, and it's like, we're not just spouting off crap. I've had almost 50 years now. Man, I've watched it. I'm not going to spout, I'm a God man, I'm not going to spout off something that's not true. And if I don't experience it or don't know it, it's like, I don't know. I'm not afraid to admit I don't know. I can't know everything,
That's another good lesson, because I was always afraid to not know. I'd figure if I didn't know something, then no one would ever listen to me.
You can't know everything.
But I was young and stubborn, and it took me a long time to realize, say you don't know when you don't know. People are going to respect you more when they, because then they know when they come to you, they're getting
the truth. The truth. And that's important.
Took a long time for me to realize that.
Well, you try to, I guess, some people put up these masks and mirrors and stuff. Why? Just be who you are, man.
Yeah.
Just be who you are.
Out there, society's trying to make you into being this person you're not. You know, and you have to wear this. You gotta say this. You gotta
and the
listen
ladies
to this
too.
music.
I mean, you watch these surgical programs and stuff, and the ladies that have the implants and the big butts and everything. It's like, don't try to be something you're not. Enjoy the beauty of who you are right now. Because
that's what made me fall in love with Lori. No makeup, natural.
You want to be that because that's who you fall in love with. That's who you are. You don't want to fall in love with the mask and then someone take it off and go, oh, that's not who I really am. It's like, I've experienced that in relationships. It's like, you're not who I thought you were. So always be who you are. Enjoy who that is, and then if you want to expand that and open that heart and
So we have a few questions.
Maybe I don't know how you would just summarize it in a little package, but your approach to health and healing and cellular regeneration and what you do here at the clinic, just for anyone who is new to you.
Yeah, I mean, when you take a look at it, and we go back to chemistry, you look at man's suffering. Everything is chemistry here on this planet. Yes, we can argue that chemistry is just a frequency of the electromagnetic energy. You keep taking that up to consciousness. But looking at it in the mundane world of chemistry, chemistry only has two sides to it. Which side is your suffering on? Is it on the acid side of chemistry, or is it on the base or alkaline side of chemistry? That's it in a nutshell. When you examine the chemistry of the foods we eat, the foods designed for the Homo sapiens species with the limbs and the teeth and all that, you get into foods that are an alkaline dominant food. It has an alkaline ash when it's broken down.
It just tastes good. It's the only one you can eat without doing anything too.
These people argue about eating meat, right? What's meat?
It's so gross.
Dry and dead cells instead.
You have to cook it, barbecue it, sauce it.
Yeah, because what are you really eating? These bodybuilders, the health and nutrition. What is nutrition in dead meat? And you cook it, all that nutrition is burned. Any waters are burned out. So everything's rebonded. You've got dead tissue, it's dead cells and stagnant blood. So you've got, and we think that's healthy? Yeah. What the hell is that? It's not healthy. It's like, oh, yummy, I'm used to this. I love this.
So you would say your approach is strictly chemistry based on keeping the balance.
Chemistry for sure.
Yeah.
That's the basis, the pillars of life. Because if you have an alkaline ash food, then the kick is electrolytes. Right. So, and in an alkaline medium, it is a rebuilding, a health in the fluid medium, and they call that an anionic medium. When you have an acid ash food, which is your grains, your beans, your pasteurized dairy products, your meats, that leaves an acid ash, more of a nitrogen protein side.
Yeah.
That ionizing sucks electrolytes out of you to bring that balance, which the main electrolyte in the body is calcium. Right. So you see all the calcium problems.
So the ash, the alkaline ash that is left over gets absorbed by the body.
Oh yeah, that's what your metabolic nutrition is.
Okay.
It is your absorption of your like calcium, magnesium, fiber.
Okay.
You have your acid principles, no question. Your
Right, yeah.
But they're the little brother.
Yeah,
If you look at chemistry as the family, calcium and mag, those are your two twin sisters. Those are the big girls. But then you get to your phosphorus, which makes bone matrix. That's your male acid principle. You need both sides. But the alkaline must dominate. And like the air. If the air was acidic, we wouldn't be
yeah,
here.
exactly.
Because if your blood gets acidic...
And it's becoming more acidic.
Well, that's the problem. When we say pollution, let's talk truth. What we're talking about, we're talking about acid air. All right, and acid rain. And it's so acidic that in the mountains now it's stripping the forest, it's killing the animals, and it's mutating the fish.
We're seeing it up there.
Absolutely.
It's sad.
It's sad. And it's just acids out of the air. Pollution, car exhaust, these are acids. While we're breathing, we're eating acid dominant. So all the pain, the mutation of cells, these are all acid. That's all acid. And you fix it easily by jumping on the other side of chemistry. There's no, it's just natural chemistry. It's too simple for the intellectual mind.
Yeah.
It is. It's too simple. It's like you sit there and argue.
But I need to know that.
And some are taught because chemistry is a world of theories.
Yes.
And hypotheses. And, that's limited by past experience of people with limited consciousness.
Yeah.
You have to pull back and look at basic chemistry and how it all works. The two sides. Blood is always base. What happens if your blood gets acidic?
Well, you're dead.
3 minutes, you're gone. So your body cannot be acidic. And the proof of that is when you go to an alkaline dominant diet, like you got rid of the acid, pain, everything went away.
Yeah,
pain went away.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. And then when you add foods that are astringent, which has a little drawing power on it, and foods that are high electromagnetically, your nervous system goes whoop.
Yeah.
And then it electrically turns on cells even more because cells are controlled electrically. So it's like, wow.
Yeah.
You start to realize it's simple when you understand the basics of health. And when you do that, the body starts cleaning itself automatically. It's called detoxification, but the body does it on its own.
Right.
Nature does it to itself.
We just give it a name.
I know. And if the land gets too bad, nature comes and goes, okay, we're going to wipe it clean. So man needs to learn that one.
What's happening.
California needs to learn that. Be careful with your consciousness, because that's the San Andreas fault.
Okay, yeah.
Science are going, it's not a matter of if.
So, talking about theories, I have a question about calories. You always hear what you don't burn, you store. And my theory and kind of question is it storing it because it is backed up and it is it's containing it in fat and to protect itself, or does the body actually store calories for later use, or is it because it's just not eliminated?
Well, we can call calories if you break it down into fat.
Okay.
If you have too much sugar, you store it as glycogen,
But is like too much? Is that too much because you put too much in? It's not that the body just naturally stores things because they need.
No. The first thing you know when you go to simple sugar diets, which is your fruits, your berries, your salad.
I can't even eat too much.
All the fat comes off it.
I went to the gym, I would work out, I'd hate every second of it, and I'd lose weight, but it was hard. Yeah. I ate fruit, I did nothing differently, and the weight just came right up.
Exactly. And the whole point is that when you're storing things like that, then you're having too much of something.
Right, because you hear people saying, oh, you need to store a little bit in case you get sick, but isn't that like...
That's bull crap. If you're in Alaska, you better store some fat. You gotta feed your battle. But then what do? Look at the grizzly bears. These are omnivores, so what do? They go to the fat of a fish or something. Little baby bears get their actual protein or meat for the amino acid. The bigger, older bears, they don't go to the meat. It acidifies them. So what they do is take the skin, eat the skin and the fat part, because why? They're going to hibernate. When they hibernate, how does they get energy? Because every cell requires what? Adenosines, the triphosphates. So you got monos and tris, you got all these phosphates. That's energetic. So cells need energy, or what happens? It dies. Yeah. So how does a bear get energy to the cells? Stored fat.
Right.
Fat's broken down into sugar. You got to have sugar, carbon.
Yeah. As far as us, that's not our deal. Like, we're supposed to be just kind of like, if we're islanders, we have that year-round access. Where we're
Thank you. When you look at that and you look at
because it didn't make sense to me. I'm like, why would we be storing anything?
Okay.
Like,
well, that's it. Well, one of my theses when I graduated naturopathic school, I had to do 5 theses, and one thesis I had to make up, and it was based upon the geographical location of proteins and minerals.
Right.
If you start moving in the subtropics, which we are here, and you see the sand, it's not a high mineralized area. As you start to move up into Georgia, everything gets more rich in soil.
Yeah.
Everything northern
Yeah.
Florida, even you get richer and richer. You get up to Wisconsin, the soil's black.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just heavy mineralized, but the survival up there is essential to have stored fat on you and all these other things.
Yeah.
Down here, you don't want that. You overheat.
Yeah.
Because fat generates heat. So, you know, you have all of those things to think about.
Yeah.
So you can't come down here and retire eating the same diet because you pass quicker.
Yeah.
You know, people come down here to retire, keep the same diets, and they get sick quick. We have hospitals on every corner down here, and then they don't teach them.
well, people are getting sick like crazy up there on that diet.
You can't do it. You can't do it anywhere.
But I guess yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to do it up there, do a mono meat diet, I guess. So I had an argument with Mitch on that, and some people around the world are going mono meat diets, claiming they're overcoming things,
Yeah.
but
I feel like that's just because they're eliminating a lot of the bad stuff, and then they just feel
that's
better.
what we say too, because you're not going to pull someone with MS or Parkinson's out of
No,
a wheelchair
yeah,
and dead tissue. Not going to happen.
We did meet a lady up in Cardinal, Ontario, Goldie, if you're watching. Shout out to Goldie, who had Parkinson's. Her whole family has Parkinson's. She married a minister, and he taught her about veganism and raw foods and stuff, and meditation and stuff. She said she was like this on medication. Now she's on no medication, and she's still, and she finds when
you want to get them up out of the chairs and stuff.
Yeah, and she's getting out.
That's why I love that. I've gotten so many people with ALS and MS out of chairs, no more brain lesions, you know, that sort of thing. It's beautiful to see. But when you realize if you have duality exists in creation, you don't have just one force, you have two, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. You have two forces. Remember Star Wars and it says Luke, trust the force.
Right.
Which side?
Yeah.
Which side do you trust? Because you got two sides, right?
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, that's one of the challenges that I kept thinking of with the symptoms that you're experiencing, because one of our themes in a lot of our workshops is the language of nature. So learning how to communicate with the world that we live in, and part of that is our internal world, your own body. So interpreting how your body is trying to communicate with you can be its own journey that takes a lot of introspection and like really trying to figure out, what is happening? What is my body telling me here?
Because the same
symptom
can mean something different.
Right? Like you could be detoxing or eating coagulating food, but feel the same thing.
Thank you.
Are there tips?
And that's what people have to learn, is that when you start detoxifying, the body's going to start cleaning out these areas that are inflamed or broken down. You're going to feel them. You're going, my shoulder hurts. Man, I haven't hurt in years. Oh my God. A few days, it's gone.
Yeah.
I hurt over here at my knee. What the heck is that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
When I stop eating those foods for a few days, I'm moody, I'm like tired, I'm woozy and stuff. And the first time it happened to me, I looked online, I'm like, am I dying? Like, what's going on? But then everyone's like, relax, you're going to go just...
I think what you said earlier, to finish this off, you need to understand the two sides of chemistry, the nature of each side of chemistry, and what they're going to afford you. Which side do you want to hold on to, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's number one. Number two, learn the lymphatic system as we teach it. I've got a video with a well-known
That's
what started us. That one in the 4 stages.
Learn the lymphatic system.
Yeah.
You learn that one, and you've got it. You understand. Suddenly you understand which side of chemistry we're on, which system is done, which system handles which side of chemistry. Blood, basically base, and lymph, basically acid. You learn that. Everything starts clicking. And the kidneys and filtration. You learn those things, you got it down, baby.
Yeah.
And then you just work it. That's as simple as healing is. Yeah. Man is spending all the money. Medical people are raping people's finances. People are retiring, not even owning their own homes. People are poor and filing bankruptcies over this. Over what? And not getting better. Yeah. Not doing anything to help them, and yet eat a few fruits, take a few herbs to help enhance the function of tissues, and you got your life back.
Yeah.
Look at that baby we just put on the YouTube yesterday, or 2 days ago. Well, I was at
We haven't
Oh,
had the
check
internet
this
for
one
a little
out.
while,
7
so we'll
years
go
old.
check
Come
it out.
look at this one.
Yeah.
I cry when I think about it. Emaciated little baby, what the mother did, and what that baby looks like.
I really wanna
latest video
watch that.
out there. You go.
We'll check it out when we
check
get
it
a
out.
chance to.
And then you begin to realize that you can take an emaciated baby like this, and you can start bringing it back to this as cerebral palsy. This is a laundry list.
Wow.
100 seizures a day.
Oh my god.
None now.
my
I mean,
gosh.
you cannot believe this case. And it's like, this is what we do. This is a level you can work at as a practitioner. We try to get, Canada, there's so many great naturopaths, and we have several of them, ladies that came down to our class. They're curing right and left.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do, is
Yeah.
all learn the same. Realize
Yeah.
we're humans, we are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so beautiful. I got chills listening to that.
Fun
That's
stuff.
beautiful.
If we could just ask 2 more questions.
Sure.
I have one on urine. You mentioned a lot about the clarity of it, and you're talking about stuff in your urine you want to be eliminating. I have a question about the color, because when I first started learning about health, I read a Bragg's book, I believe, that said, drink as much as you possibly can. You want your pee to be clear in color. And they didn't necessarily say anything about... And then Moritz, I read later on in my journey, Moritz said, Andreas Morse said, you want your pee to be yellow, you don't want it to be clear in color. Can you clarify that for me?
Yeah, I mean, you got to realize that there's a learning curve on the planet.
Frequently.
And even Paul Bragg, I mean, he was a great guy, but you know, look at him, you know, he was a big guy.
Yeah.
And I knew Paul Bragg and his wife or daughter, you know. She claims to be his daughter, but was his wife, you know.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
there's a lot of ups and downs there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you have, you know, even Doc Jensen, he was personal great friend of mine.
Yeah, and
he
great
was-
books.
But he wasn't a vitalist, you know.
Yeah.
He wasn't a raw foodist.
Yeah,
And that was
yeah,
his
yeah,
problem, you know. But I had that problem. I opened
Yeah.
up health food stores. I was a fruitarian, and then I came in and opened up health food stores after living in the woods as a fruitarian.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, well, whole, raw, right? Raw milk yogurts? Yeah. Raw milk cheeses? Yeah. Nuts? Yeah. Raw, nuts, everything raw.
Yeah.
My health
doesn't
starts
just
going back
automatically-
down. I'm going, what?
Yeah.
I'm eating that's my health food.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you learn, you know, by using on yourself, and that's how I learned about nuts
yeah.
and proteins and things like that. And then I said, here, try it.
So with what am I looking for?
I think with the
clarity?
urine, you're going to see
color.
it changing up and down.
Oh, okay.
Depends about heme and all this stuff. But it really, I think you're going to see in all instances a lighter yellow. I don't think you're going to see clear. I don't think it clear.
Because
urine is natural.
Okay, because it used to be where, like, I felt good drinking so much water.
But you
and
don't want to overdo that. And the other
Right,
problem with
okay.
this guy is that.
So what is like a good amount?
I don't know what to tell you. I think
Oh,
by
it's personal.
thirst.
Oh, by
My
thirst.
opinion is by
Okay.
thirst. Now,
No, I agree with
notice
you.
that
I
if
agree.
you have thirst, you're dehydrated.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the problem. So eat more fruit, because that is ionized water. That's electrical water instead of just
Right.
drinking water. Mountain water, a little electrical, but you know, water is acidic, H2O.
Right.
So if you have pure distilled water or RO water,
That's what I
acidic.
used to drink all the
Yeah,
time.
that's acidic. Well, you know, there's all kinds of thoughts on that. I even put distilled water in my because we used to fast on distilled water.
Right, yeah.
And then there was the medical said it leaches, and I don't know, you know.
So you would suggest getting hydration from fruits and just
Absolutely.
supplementing with water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't drink a lot of water unless I'm doing too much cooked.
Oh,
And that's dehydration.
Yeah, when we eat cooked food, I just want to
don't
pound
kid
that
it,
water.
see? That's what I'm saying.
And sleep.
And sleep.
Sleep.
See? Well, because there's no energy.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this one young girl. She's only like 17 or 18, and we were talking. I was working with her, and she said, you know, talking about dehydration, she says, when I take a shower, just a shower, I can gain 5 to 10 pounds.
Wow.
And I go, holy cow. I said, your metals
Wow.
deteriorate on your skin too. You know how you get the black rings with metals?
Yes.
And she said,
Sure.
yeah, that's how acidic. Well, you know what? Acids are corrosive. They deteriorate. And when there becomes intracellular acidosis, atypical to cancer. All our cancer cells is a intracellular acidic cell.
Right,
You're gone, baby.
Yeah, thanks for explaining
But
that.
that's
simply.
only because lymph stagnation exists extracellularly.
Yeah.
And that's all that is.
It's so easy to understand when you just take the time to say, okay, wait.
Thank you.
There's a cause and an effect, and the cause right now in medical literature is autoimmune, or they don't actually know. But when you put it like this way, it's like that's so obvious. It's not even.
It's so obvious.
Yeah.
If someone tells you have an autoimmune problem, then first of all, they don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their drawer for, I don't know, but it's your immune system. Well, explain to me, medical, what your immune system is.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't understand. You got some immune cells, yada, 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 yada. But understand why the lymph nodes, why macrophages in the lymph nodes, why, what's going, how does the body deal, navigate with damaged cells?
Lloyd had a really good question kind of tied on to what's
Which
going
one?
on here about the future of
Oh, right. Well, you always say you want to have people build upon our current understanding because we don't know everything. And we're just building upon previous people's teachings too. So are there any, fill in the blanks?
I think fill in the
that you
blanks
see?
comes from yourself. Your own personal journeys and experience, because we have it laid out. I mean, chemically and everything, you can't argue. That's chemistry and physics.
Yeah.
You got that down.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the little more pathways and understanding how the kidneys and the skin navigate. You look at the gases escaping from your skin, realizing it's essential for gases to escape out of the body because we create a lot of gases.
Yeah.
But then when people are eating the way they're eating, fermentation, putrefaction is
Oh my
major
gosh,
in
yeah.
people. And of course, that's all acidosis. And
Do you feel there's a big gap in understanding that we need to overcome so that everyone can just do this, or is it that people just aren't there yet, or the food's too addictive?
Okay, so this is if you want to get into the spiritual side of this. Okay?
Yes.
Sure, yeah, let's go.
This is all
We gotta go
tied
where
to
it goes.
the states of consciousness.
Okay.
So at a certain level of consciousness, you're polarized to meat eating, you're polarized to these things because just that level of consciousness as you
Okay.
expand. And you see that when you start either meditating or learning to quiet the mind or eating fruit and stuff.
Yeah.
All these things bring you kind of toward that same thing when you start elevating your ability to be awake
Yeah.
and less thought.
Right.
And then you start realizing you're not down at those levels anymore. When you start eating at those levels, you feel that tug in your awareness. It
Yeah.
makes the body tired and everything else, but it also brings you down in
Right.
your awareness.
Right.
So everything is tied to levels or states of consciousness. And as you expand your ability to get out of states of consciousness or out of the dharma or drama, out of the soap opera that man is, and realize you're just on a journey in consciousness, then you start to realize that these are all tied to levels of consciousness. And as you expand yourself, you're not polarized to those lower levels anymore.
Right.
So as humans grow, they push away these levels.
Right.
And it's all tied that way. There's a certain level of meat eating that, a certain level of consciousness. And,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I've had it in myself. So
Yeah.
I've felt when I've been down in life,
Hard to
I do
explain
all
that
those
one.
things. It is.
Yeah.
Well, that's, I guess, finally, is there any advice you
Habitually.
have for us to, because we would eventually, and we throw workshops to help people and tell them all this information. Is there
Yeah.
any advice you have to us to open this up to people, or do we have to just wait
I
till they
think
come
you just
to
keep it
us? Like-
simple. No, when I see someone suffering, I come out and try to
Okay.
think of, let the divine fill you with a
Okay.
word or something that you can go, I can help you get out of that chair.
Okay.
And then here's my card and walk away.
Okay.
Something like that. I was with someone who said, oh, no. It's like, yeah,
But
if
you
I'm-
have to
if I'm-
eventually,
You have to.
yeah.
I'm one of those guys.
Lauren and I say that to
Yeah.
ourselves in public. We're like, I see that person struggling. What do we
I
say?
see someone in
Like,
a chair, I'm going, especially in a chair.
Oh.
That gets me. I know their karma put them there. I'm not that,
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
that, but let me help you undo your karma. And that's what you guys are here, helping others to undo what they created.
yeah.
And that's a cool thing when you realize
yeah.
that
We're very
you're a
blessed
channel
to-
for the divine,
We're
And
very blessed
what
that
you
way.
understand helps others get out of their karma and have a higher level of experience.
And I mean, I feel our own too. My own personal things. I haven't been the greatest human being on this planet, and I
stop
really
it.
want to. I really want to.
Doesn't matter. I mean, really, we have morality and all that kind of stuff we set up, but really, you're here to experience.
Okay.
Whatever it is. Oh, I'm into taste. Let me see what that tastes.
Yeah.
I'm into experiencing. Because what is this anyway? It's
Yeah.
just experiences. Because in the final time, you're going to leave here. What you taking?
Yeah.
Are you going to pull all your thoughts and your emotions with you in
Yeah,
your next
yeah,
experience?
yeah,
No, you want to be free and enjoy every new experience for what it is. Like getting off a plane in a new land you've never been. You're looking and saying the mind isn't engaged yet. Your
Yeah.
consciousness is going, what am I seeing?
yeah.
Suddenly your mind
You can't
comes in,
process
oh,
it yet.
this is like that. This is like I
Yeah,
understand that. Oh, I got that.
relates to
The
it.
mind comes in and that experience goes, "Urgh."
That's very interesting.
That's how we're feeling, touring around,
Yeah.
playing music. And,
We don't even get a chance for our mind to settle down.
Yeah.
And time.
That's cool, though.
The thing I realize is time starts expanding. When I worked a job 9 to 5, I went into my job. Things just happened, and next thing I knew, a week went by, a year went by. Now Lauren and I talk about what happened 3 days ago. I'm like, that was 3 days ago? That seems like a month ago. Like, are you kidding me?
There's people watching this that's going to appreciate what you just said.
Oh,
because I have a dear loved one, and same thing, it's like yeah, that was just that was a year ago. No, it
That-
felt like a year ago.
Yes,
it was only
it was
yesterday.
like, yeah, oh.
Because you're out of time.
It's-
You're working out of time. You're working in the now, and there's no time. So
I love
time
it.
exactly.
It is
It's like
I want to have a long, full life.
that was yesterday, honey. No, that was last week. No,
It's like, no, yeah, oh.
oh, this is common
It's
stuff. I love
awesome.
it. That shows that you guys are opening up spiritually. That is cool. It's all get out. I love it.
But
Well,
that's when you're enjoying it, right?
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
working the jobs that we were working, you're kind of like looking forward to being done with.
yeah, and I used to
And
say,
so you're
yeah,
like
oh, sorry.
you're wishing your time went by
Yes,
faster,
and I'd be
so
like,
it does.
wait a second, I'm wishing part of my life away here? Like,
Yeah.
what is wrong
You're
with this?
musicians, you're creatives, and so being a musician, if you're a true musician, you're in the now
Oh,
with it.
we're
You're
all-
moving
yes.
with that, breathing with that.
That's the only time we can create.
Exactly.
We
It's the only
can't-
time the music's really good.
Yeah, if I'm trying to force it,
Oh
it sounds...
no.
You have to turn off and just...
Oh,
go.
that's what I love. And so the creative arts is a great field, whether you're an artist or whatever, to allow that nowness, because I come from an art community,
Right.
and everybody paints still art.
Yeah.
It's dead art, based. I mean, it's still alive, cottages and plants and stuff. Yeah. But paint what you see. I have ministers, there are artists up there, and they go, I'm just dead. I said, because you're painting still art. Start going within and painting the beauty that you see in the heavens and bring that beauty to this world. That's what this world needs, to see the heavenly art.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Beautiful.
Well, it was a pleasure.
Oh, thank you
Yes,
so
so
much.
wonderful.
It's been fun. Love you guys.
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
watching.
Go have
Thanks
fun
for
on your
enjoying
journey.
this. Yeah.
I'm now going to meet an Amish healer.
Awesome,
And,
cool.
I've been a friend of mine for
Exciting.
years. I've
Yeah.
worked with Amish people for years. It's fun stuff.
Yeah, thanks so much for giving us the
Oh,
time. And we're just random people that emailed you and said
man, fun
that.
stuff.
Yes.
Love you guys.
Love
Group hug.
you too.
Group hug.
Group hug.
Group hug. Good group hug. All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.